Music, industry talk, stories, equipment and more. We are Crossfader and this is off the record. Off the record. Off the record.
Hey, welcome back to Off the Record, the DJ podcast with myself, Jamie Hartley, and today's episode is very different from the usual. I have sat opposite me here Katie Riddock, who is my business partner and also wife, and
I'm not your wife.
It's easier to say that though. We've been together for over 10 years. Basically husband and wife.
There's no ring on my finger.
Okay, let's not get into that side of it. Anyway, as you are all probably aware that are listening to this, we are in the middle of a global pandemic, and this is the coronavirus pandemic that has basically shut the world down. I'm just sort of putting it out there. We all know what's going on in the world, but if you're listening to this sometime in the future, because I think it's important for us to document this time, it's going to change the course of history. If you're listening in the future, this has been recorded right in the middle of that pandemic when the world is really shutting down. I think I read today a quarter of the world's population is now in lockdown. A quarter of the world's population. Yeah, so that's sort of where we're at.
I suppose with China lockdown, that's like a huge portion, isn't it?
Yeah. So
oh God,
that's where we're at. And obviously, us running a DJ school, the events, nightlife, DJ industry has been massively affected by this pandemic.
Yeah. I think any creative industry has been, but especially DJs.
Just in the last few weeks, most nightclubs, events, weddings, anything where a DJ is going to play music has pretty much been cancelled.
Absolutely.
Postponed.
The only thing that's really going is radio.
Yeah.
But I don't even know how that's working right now.
Well, I'm guessing they just have to turn up and stay away from the producer, and maybe the radio's still on. So as it stands, which I think radio is an important thing at this time.
Yeah,
it's another outlet to share the news as well. Anyway, this podcast is all about the community out there, the DJ community, all of you guys and girls that are listening around the world. And just to maybe hopefully provide some comfort, provide something relative to kind of
to just show that we're all in this together, and we're all in similar and different situations, but everybody is struggling one way or another.
Yeah. So if you are watching this video on YouTube, watching the podcast, you'll see that we're not in the studio. Me and Katie are at home, pretty much in lockdown.
In the UK, we are pretty much in lockdown now.
Yeah. The Prime Minister has kind of politely, compared to other countries, as I'm still going to say politely, but has basically said you can only go out once a day for a jog. You have to do that alone. If you go out of the house, you can go out with other people that you live with, but for a walk, and you have to stay 2 meters away from anyone else.
Other than that, you can only really go out for shopping or work if it's absolutely essential. But most companies were told to start working from home like a week ago or more.
And all retailers are all shut.
The only shops allowed to be open are food shops and pharmacies, like essential businesses. That's all that's left.
Yep.
All the schools are shut. All childcare places are shut.
Yep. So
it's pretty much everything.
We're at home for the foreseeable future. The rest of the team, shout out to obviously Lawrence, Holland and Danny, they're all working from home as well, and they're doing what they can to contribute to the channel, to help keep creating that content and providing the content and the education
now more
and
than
the inspiration.
Ever. Everybody's got so much spare time.
That's kind of where we're at in this moment in time, and I can imagine a lot of people around the world are in a similar situation. Some maybe not quite there yet, but I think the whole world.
I think everybody's on their way. I think it's going to get even stricter here in the next week or so.
Yeah, I agree. So I think, first of all, we reached out to all of our users on our email, people that have subscribed to Crossfader's email list, and we reached out to find out, what they were doing around the world, how coronavirus has affected them in the industry that they're in, and them as DJs, and what they're doing to
stay busy.
Yep, stay busy, stay positive, stay active. And we're going to just read some of the responses so that you can kind of relate. And
basically an extended story time.
Exactly, yeah. So why don't you just do a live jingle? Are we ready?
I don't know if I can do that. I don't remember what I say.
You just say story time.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready?
Okay. Story time. That's so strange.
Nice. So, Katie, you kick it off. Let's go. You read the first one out.
Where shall I start? I'm like, I think I'm over prepared.
Well, we've got 3 or 4 pages printed out here of amazing
I'm old
stories.
school. I brought my printer home from work. I would have missed it too much. I don't even know where to start. Let's start with this dude. I thought this one is relevant and it's positive. So
Good. Yeah, let's start on a positive.
Hi Jamie, this is Giorgio. I am Italian and I live in Beijing, China. While we are going towards the end of the epidemic here, I am of course very worried about the situation in my home country. But I also want to bring a message of hope to all of you guys because there is always light at the end of the tunnel. I promise I am seeing it here. It's actually a lot better now. DJ life is obviously currently on hold, but hey, there are plenty of things we can do, which we never have the time to do, surely. I've been focusing on learning more production skills, for example, and I've been making new mixtapes I've shared online. Having more free time also meant being able to engage more with people that are far away and spending some time reflecting on what's important and, well, letting go of the rest. Like any other DJ out there, I miss playing and I'm so much looking forward to the time when I can see people again in front of me dancing, celebrating, hugging and having the time of their life. So that's nice. So I sent him a little email back to kind of get a bit more information. Obviously, he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's been in lockdown in China and Italy right now where we're at is the worst place currently. Yeah. I think they've got the most deaths of any country right now. So, like so obviously...
But surely he maybe has family.
Yeah, well, then, so I emailed him back to ask for, to basically say I'm so sorry. And he said, I've been in isolation for about 3 weeks. I was in Italy for Christmas and then I came back to China and I was here when the whole thing started in Wuhan. Then very quickly, everything shut down. At first, I wanted to go back to Italy, in all honesty, to protect myself. But then I thought it could be unsafe. What if I caught the virus on the plane and brought the virus there to my family and my sister? No, I love them too much. So I decided to stay here in isolation. And luckily, things are going well. One thing I would say to encourage DJs to do is to keep sharing and showing their love for music, keep engaging across borders. My personal view is that our job doesn't stop when the clubs close, and at the end of the day, aren't we really an enabler? We help people fully experience and externalize their feelings of happiness, gratefulness, and connection to others through music, of course.
That's great.
I know. It was like the first email back I got. So Giorgio, thanks so much for taking the time to email us. It's very positive to hear that you're coming out the other side of it, given that it feels like we're at the beginning of all of this.
Yeah, it's kind of looking into the future, hopefully, knowing that there is an end in sight, and I hope it keeps going that way over in China.
Yeah.
Okay, so we reached out on Instagram as well. I'm just going to read 1 or 2 out, just comments that people have replied, just so you can hear. So, hey, this is Andrea from Rome, Italy. I used to work as a DJ in several parties and events in Rome before the lockdown. At the moment, I had the need to keep sharing music with people. That's why I started organising happy hour DJ sets live on Instagram once or twice a week, each characterised by a different sound or music genre. The most satisfactory thing is hearing people saying thank you because you brought some music in their lives and helped them distract their thoughts from the current situation. My recommendation to all the DJs, please keep sharing your music and your vibes. Let's make lockdown happier. So again...
I miss happy hour.
Yeah, sharing the vibes.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think that's definitely one of the overriding themes through all of this is that it doesn't matter whether you're in a club or not.
No.
People want to hear music and people want to feel connected, and I suppose that is what a DJ does. It connects people whether they're in the same room or not.
Yeah. I think as well, it's the world's never been more connected, even though we're isolated.
Absolutely.
It's almost never been more connected. And
I think I've spoken to more of my friends and family this week than I probably have in the last year.
Yeah.
Because it's almost giving us a reason to realise that when all the noise gets taken away and all these other things get taken out of the picture, it's the things that you're passionate about. So music, DJing.
Yep. And
the people that you care about that are all you're really left with, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting deep fast.
Yeah. Right. Next email.
I have been a DJ for 11 years. I'm a local resident and try to keep the party in Potsdam, Germany going. Always there is a large DJ community from Berlin in my neck of the woods, as Potsdam Potsdam, I'm really sorry if I'm saying this wrong, is very close to Berlin. For me, isolation brought light and darkness. First, darkness in form of missing the local club scene and all the special people of this town because I feel at home on these stages. The light, however, comes with the hope of a new stream, which I want to share with all the people of my beloved town. With other DJs, we stay together and try to be creative under the Potsdamer DJ stream. This was planned early in 2020, but we never imagined that it would become that important to this town. I want to thank Crossfader for your great content and keep going. So thanks.
I just got a little shiver because I believe everything happens for a reason. And when he said there that they started a live stream channel before any of the, just at the start of this year, not realizing how important it would be
absolutely.
For all of those DJs, before you realize it. Special, very special.
Thanks, Tom.
So I've got one off Instagram here. This is from Lord of the Flies is the handle, but he's Paul in Chicago. It's quite a long one, so just bear with us. But being a healthcare worker who DJs on the side, I found that coming home and getting behind the decks has given me peace of mind. I'm free to let the stress of the day taper off as I lose myself to the rhythms I queue up and live streaming it for others to enjoy. It's a very liberating feeling when being overwhelmed by this pandemic. I want to point out that everyone who is isolating and taking steps to slow the spread of COVID-19 deserves praise because they are a part of a global fight to save lives. Washing your hands, covering your cough into your arm and staying home for what feels like days on end is something we've quickly adapted to or done our whole lives. If we stay hopeful and continue this trend, we will win this battle much sooner. But with most of us feeling blue, we have the option to develop a passion for something that calms us. For those who have a strong passion, now is the time to lose yourself to it. Mixing is my escape from the dread of everyday life, yet endless possibilities are at our disposal that captivate us and remain a part of our lives for years to come. Long story short, DJing is my place of comfort after a physically and emotionally draining day. And we can all find comfort in one interest that eventually becomes a part of who we are. My heart goes out to everyone losing their jobs, businesses, and loved ones due to this disaster. If there is a hold on, I've got two screen grabs here. I've lost where I am. If there is a silver lining in all of this, it's that we will recognize how interconnected we all are as a society and come together in times of need. There's also no harm in exploring new ways to find tranquility in a hobby that can quickly grow into a way of life, just as DJing is for me. My best to all of you around the world and to the Crossfader team for letting voices be heard. Sincerely, Paul.
What a guy.
Yep.
Thanks so much to Paul for obviously doing what you do and to obviously all of the doctors and nurses and paramedics and just anyone involved. I spoke to a guy this week who's one of our students who is a paramedic in the UK. And I was chatting to him about it, and he basically said the exact same thing, that when he gets home and he's exhausted and is so overwhelmed by what he's having to deal with, it's getting on his controller, putting up his course and just losing himself in learning new skills that's kind of giving him that release. So.
I remember when I first, at the start of my DJ journey, when I was, falling in love with this new hobby, it was one of those things that if I needed to distract myself, if I needed to just, get lost in it, you can't think about anything else when you're concentrating on mixing.
No, you really can't.
You're in the zone with the music. So it was such a good escape at any point just to dive in, and you would just lose hours. And it was a great way back then. And it's
you do still do that now, I do still lose you for hours.
But I understand. I do understand, yeah.
No, absolutely.
Do you want to go for another one, Katie?
Yeah, let me just find the one I am looking for.
You've printed too many out.
I know, but here's a cool
stories.
one. So this is from Aaron in Sydney. I sent him an email today. He's had a pretty rough time of it, as a lot of DJs are having right now. He'd been battling away for years to get his career on track, and it's the story we all know, we've heard so many times. It's so sad. And he literally started getting residencies 2 weeks ago, and now everything's shut.
Happened,
so I was really heartbroken for him. But anyway, I had this great idea. Another idea that's been floated that people in my local street are doing is driveway drinks of a Sunday afternoon. The idea is we maintain social distance, however, keep the community spirit alive. So I'm planning on dragging my rig to the top of my driveway and providing the neighbourhood with some entertainment.
See, what's he called?
Aaron.
Aaron
in Sydney.
Aaron in Sydney. Don't you worry about those residences, because if you've got that drive to go throw a party at the end of your driveway, you'll be fine once all of the clubs and bars start opening back up again. Of course, you've got party in you. You can just, you've got the party in you, and that will continue. If you're bringing that at this time, then when the opportunities come back, they will be flying, because just think about it. When all this blows over, all the nightclubs that open back up, all the festivals that come back on, everyone is going to celebrate like they have never ever celebrated before.
It's going to be mad.
The opening parties for
Can you
all
imagine I wonder if like big club owners, like clubs in Ibiza and stuff, if they've literally got lineups on standby. So because no one's got any bookings for the foreseeable future. So it's like, ring up whoever you want. It's like, Jamie XX, are you free on this date? Yeah. Sure am. And just work through a lineup. So then the day things open, it's just ready to go.
It's just going to be such a celebration.
I can't wait.
I know. It will come. It will come.
But by the way, Aaron, we are totally doing this. I don't know if any of my street. We live around a lot of old people, but it's good. We're getting them on board. We're gonna do the driveway drinks, I think.
This is a good one off Instagram. It's very short, but just, hi, I'm DJ Bells from the Maldives, and this is where it's quite interesting, because if you have small, very tourist, things that these islands are built on tourism,
and they're tiny, aren't they?
Tiny, yeah. So if flights shut down, and then anyone that earns an income on that island doesn't have anything, then it's tricky, isn't it? But anyway, DJ Bell says, our resort is totally closed due to coronavirus. I'm now more focused sharing music on social media platforms, mostly creating new podcasts, great, and uploading to Mixcloud on a regular basis. Thank you, much love. So,
nice.
It's great to hear that he's doing well and keeping positive, and that is a great thing. Keep sharing what you do. It's never been a better time to really harness the power of social media and build your brand, build your following, start, engaging more with,
people have nothing to do other than look at social media. So now is the time you are going to get the most reach ever.
Yeah.
No one's got much else to do. So if ever there was a time to make that video, make that mix, put together that new tune, now is that time.
Yeah. And we all know that music lifts people up.
Absolutely.
Especially the music when, DJs in a club, whether you're DJing in a club or at home, the people that are listening to that music, they're being lifted up. And at a time like now, I think this message is coming across from a lot of people around the world, is it's lifting people up and bringing them out of what could send people into, a bit of a depression, which obviously we don't want.
Exactly.
Have you got another email?
Yeah, I am. Another sort of theme I've had in a lot of emails is people learning to DJ with their kids, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
Because in a lot of countries, schools are shut now, so the old homeschooling is coming in.
Yep.
Luckily, ours is only 2, so we don't actually have to homeschool.
He's asleep right now. We've got the monitor here.
Baby monitor.
Watching on
so
YouTube.
If we disappear, it means he woke up.
Yep.
But yeah, so I had this email from Libby, who said that she'd recently purchased the beginner Serato course for her son, but secretly it's actually for her. Her son just turned 8 and is obsessed on becoming a DJ producer. He's inspired by Marshmello and Alan Walker, and I love that I can share my love of music with him. While schools are closed here in Florida, and I've taken on the additional role of being my children's teachers, I'm using the time to turn lemons into lemonade, as they say. We're working on the courses to strengthen my son's skills and watching some of our favourite DJs together on social media. While the lockdown has changed our world for sure, we're also bonding and making some lifelong memories together. I'm an intensely optimistic person, and I wish to show my kids that even in really hard times, we can and should work hard towards our goals as best we can. We will come out on the other side of this eventually, and I want to have fully taken advantage of the time I have to help educate my kids and give them the tools they'll need for success in whatever form that takes for them.
Great. As parents, any parents out there will be able to relate. But it's that thing.
Your kids are going to be so successful, Libby.
Yeah. But if you can turn what is could be a very, very negative time into something positive, and know that for the rest of your life you learn a new skill. For example, if her kid, when he's our age or her age, can look back and go, what did you do when coronavirus was around? And it's like, I learned to DJ.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's a positive, and it's something that you can take with you.
Yeah.
A positive that you can take with you into the future.
But to any parents out there, if you have DJ equipment, get your kids on it. Kids are amazing at DJing.
Yeah.
Like, they pick it up so much quicker than grown-ups do. And everybody thinks you have to learn a traditional instrument. Like, teach them to DJ, and then they can play any music.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are stuck in a house, if you get your kid obsessed with DJing, then they will entertain themselves.
Yeah.
Which is very
However,
useful.
in this house, I'm staggering what I'm bringing out of the cupboards and the toys. So I've got a piece of DJ equipment that I've brought home, but he as soon as he knows there's DJ equipment in the house, that's it.
Yeah, he's obsessed.
He's obsessed.
And he can't DJ yet. If you have a 2-year-old, then I don't recommend it as much.
It's more just like pressing the buttons really hard and just scratching the jog wheel, and just it gets.
All he actually really likes to do is to get a turntable and take the vinyl off it and take the slip mat off it and then spin it.
Yeah, scratch up all the records. Not cool. I'm working on it. So again, another short one off Instagram. This is from Brandon Beshard. 5 gigs cancelled. Been working on a lot of edits with all the spare time. So the reason why I brought this one up is because that's a very valid point. If you're a working DJ out there that's working 5 nights a week, usually, it's your full-time thing, and you feel like you don't have enough time to work on those other aspects of the music industry, the DJ industry, and your brand. With all this extra time, now is the perfect opportunity. If you're a confident DJ, you don't need to learn loads of new DJ skills. Making DJ edits, learn how to chop up tracks in something like Ableton or Serato Studio or something along those lines, and make mashups, make edits, make your own versions. If you can spend these weeks in isolation doing that, when the gigs come back up and you go back to your residencies or try and pick some gigs back up, your sets will then be unique to all the other DJs out there because you've been working on unique mashups and unique edits that you can
absolutely.
showcase.
It's just adding more and more strings to your bow, isn't it?
And then a step beyond that is learn some music production as well. It goes hand in hand, and it takes a lot of time to learn how to produce music. And that's, if you've got time now,
yeah, definitely.
Now could be a good time to learn how to produce music. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had quite a lot of people that sort of saying the same
Producing,
thing. Yeah.
Have you got any more emails there?
What have we got here? Oh, I've got so many.
Just go for it.
I've got one from India here, which India got locked down yesterday, I think. 1.3 billion people got locked down. Like, how do you lock down?
Every person staying in the house, apparently.
Yeah, mental. Naktan from New Delhi said he was working as a freelancer recently. His gigs were all cancelled because of coronavirus, so this was before it got locked down. And it's really hard for me and my fellow DJs around the world to survive currently. My situation is that we are locking down and it's my 4th day in quarantine. For the first time in my life, I started my Facebook and Instagram live sessions direct from my bedroom. I believe those who are watching are starting to feel better. This is what makes me motivated, and it's a good opportunity to tell the people that different genres of music exist. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I've never heard like Indian DJ music.
No. Well, I'm sure it's huge in India, but
I'm gonna click on it. I've
got
got his link. I'm gonna go and have a little listen after this.
Nice. I've got all my parties, birthday, weddings where I need to DJ are cancelled, but now I have more time to practice at home and I can focus more on my Instagram and YouTube channel. By the way, does someone have tips on how to record a set at home? Which camera and how do you record the audio? And this is from Yuma Music on Instagram. Okay, so keep it simple. At this point, get your phone out and record with your phone. If you can record audio with your controller in the software, in Serato, in Rekordbox, in
This
Tractor.
is why we need Holland here. I miss you, Holland. Where is tech support when we need him?
I know. But hit record in the software, hit record on your phone. And then again, just like we've been saying, learning a new skill. It's something that you have time to do now. So download a piece of editing software, video editing software. And there are so many different ones out there. We use Final Cut Pro. That is a paid software from Apple. But there's Premiere Pro, another paid software. But there's even QuickTime that comes free on a Mac, which you can do this with, and you can just drag a video file in, drag an audio file in, and then just use your ears. It's like beat matching. Sync up the
we all know
the
how
two
to do
pieces
that.
of audio, and there is a sync button in Final Cut Pro.
Oh,
So no, but
let's not go down
just
that road.
just use this time. Look at some tutorials how to put audio and video together. There are lots of editing things out there. There are even apps on your phone that you can do it with. So just have a Google and see what you can come up with the tools that you have available. Have you got another email?
Let's have a look. Where's it gone? Hi, my name is Sven. I'm living in Hamburg, Germany. My experience in DJing came down to being a mobile DJ for some minor events like company parties or playing in local pubs. So my main challenge so far was really to pick the right songs and just be better than the jukebox. With working from home and being in isolation, I thought it'd be a perfect time to develop some more knowledge about music structure and mixing techniques. So I decided to join your beginner DJ course, and I'm now spending hours of the evening and all over the weekends to learn these basic techniques. And believe me, it's a lot of fun. My favorite challenge has been beat matching, and I've mastered that so far. Nice work, Sven. Thanks for joining the family.
Yep. Do you have any more emails? I know you've got loads printed out. Is there any more that you want to run through before I go through my tips?
The other one. Oh no, the other one I wanted to sort of mention. It's really long, so I can paraphrase. But was from what's his name, Justin in Portland, USA. And he was basically talking about how he grew up in LA in the 90s. So he used to stay up late on Saturday nights. And the local radio station would feature Richard Humpty Vission and Bad Boy Bill. I haven't heard of them, but they sound famous. My friends and I would drive up to Hollywood and listen to the latest global underground albums at Virgin Megastore. And when the millennium turned, I discovered Pete Tong's Essentials selection on Radio 1 and would stream the show every Friday and dream of packed clubs and Ibiza nights. But then he goes on to talk about how he's in his 40s now and he's a commercial pilot. So he put his dreams on the back burner, as we've heard so many times that people do this. So he's a really successful pilot, but there are no planes right now. So he's picked up his SB3, which was gathering dust, and is now saying that he's completely revitalized his dream and he feels like he's been going through the motions. And actually, he's probably happier than he's been in a long time. So again,
that's great. Positivity.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? At least there are happy stories to come out of this. There was another woman who was saying that she had the same thing. She bought a course from us ages ago, never got around to really starting it.
Yeah.
And now she was like, I feel so bad saying it, but actually I'm happier than I've ever been and I shouldn't be. But you should,
you should. That's great. But this is the thing. I think there's going to be balance in the world, and wherever there's negative, there needs to be positive.
You love a yin yang, don't you?
You love the yin and yang, yes. But I believe in that, and I think you've just got to keep open and know that, yes, all the negative things that are going on will balance themselves out in some way or another. Even if you don't know it yet. The more positive
energy we can put out into the world right now, the better.
Yeah. And it's the first time the entire world has been pretty much on the same page.
Oh my God.
And working towards a common goal. And that's something the world isn't very good at doing.
And the crazy thing was I had so many emails from people, and thank you so much to everyone who did email. And it is, everybody's saying the same things, everybody's talking about live streaming and sharing the music and learning new skills and being positive. Yeah. And I had emails literally from the USA, Liberia, India, Germany, France, Kenya, Uganda, Italy, China, Lebanon, the UK, Turkey, Philippines, Australia, Finland, Canada, Belgium, Argentina were the ones that I actually wrote down. So
we really
are all on the same page.
All going through it together. And just know you are all Crossfader. We're all here with you.
We're doing as much as we can to put out as much stuff to keep you motivated as we can. We're posting isolation inspiration every day on our Instagram story, which is links to
free tutorials,
podcasts, just stuff to keep you inspired and busy.
Just to recap, I think let's just round it up. So what can you do in this isolation period? What can you be doing at home? So my list, I think the best things that you can be doing, manage your music collection. It's a big thing that as DJs, I used to hate doing it. I liked just DJing.
I love
didn't
this.
like the
I love
management
this
of it.
kind of life admin.
But we all have to do it. We all have to manage that music collection and make sure it's
Yeah.
organised. So now is a great time to do that.
There is no excuse
yeah.
for bad library management after this.
Dig deep for new music.
Yeah.
You can spend time hunting through the internet, through labels, through your favourite artists.
And there will be so much new music coming out.
Oh yeah, so many producers sat in the studio at home.
Absolutely.
Making tunes. Practice a new element of DJing. I think we all know that. Just take the time to perfect your craft, master some new skills. Start live streaming. It's something that a lot of DJs weren't doing before, and after this we'll know how to do, and we'll probably continue to do, and it will become a whole new sector of the DJ industry, because
I think so.
all DJs will know how to do it, so it will just become part and parcel of what the DJ industry has to offer and what resident DJs,
There's a lot of
guest
people
DJs
who don't
offer.
want to go to the club or to festivals, but love DJ music. And
love electronic music.
Exactly.
Plan routines. If you're a DJ that wants to enter things like Red Bull 3 style eventually, the routines that come out
Lawrence
that come out in these competitions, they take a long time to prepare and plan. So now is a good time to do that. Make DJ edits I mentioned, or get started in music production for any working club DJs. So you've got a big bank of exclusive edits to take back to the club when you start up again. Build your social media following. Obvious, everyone's on there at the moment. Scrolling, give them something to be engaged with.
Yeah, give them a reason to stop scrolling.
Yeah, and obviously that goes on to creating DJ videos and building your brand. Reach out to other DJs as well. You have time to socialize now over things like Google Hangout, over Skype, over FaceTime.
House Party. I haven't used it myself, but everybody seems to be using a House Party app.
Cool, we'll check it. Maybe DJs could jump on that as well.
Why not?
Maybe. But yeah, reaching out, socializing with other DJs, and then enter challenges. Like we have a scratch challenge and we have a transition challenge. It's a way to challenge yourself and your skills and to put yourself out there on social media. We pick some of our favorites each month. The scratch challenges and transition challenges go out on Instagram, and we pick some of our favorite submits from each month and post them out on our channel and tag you in it. So yeah, go check it out. Just go to Instagram. You'll find it on our feed at We Are Crossfader, and you can get involved there. And that's something that's going on every month. So if you're listening in the future, still go check it. And yeah, all we want to say is stay safe to everyone around the world.
Yeah. Wash your hands.
Keep positive as well. Just keep your head held high. I know a lot of people might be motivated to start with, like, yes, I'm going to have 2 weeks off and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. After 2 weeks, it might be a different story, but just remember to keep your head held high and know that we're all in it together. And we're all working towards that common goal. And we're not going anywhere. I'll be making videos in my garden or in this kitchen. If need be, I will figure out how to attach a camera above, and I will keep doing it. Don't worry.
We'll just hang our child like Spider-Man style with a camera from the ceiling.
Great idea. No, he'll be selfie and he'll be like, oh, look at this.
Oh, help us.
So thanks for listening. I know this is a very different episode, but I think it's
I promise I'll never be on a podcast again.
No, it's been great to have you on, actually. It's been so good. No, you're definitely coming on another podcast again. We keep telling you to, and you keep hiding in the office. So
I have things to do.
Thanks again for listening. Remember to check out the website, wearecrossfader.co.uk. This from Jamie and Katie. We will
see you soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the office.
Bye.
Bye.